I did a thing today. I bought a bunch of citrus trees at Home Depot. They were on sale, they were half off, and I couldn't turn down these $25 trees in pots. I know that citrus does not grow naturally here in the Rocky Mountains, and that's okay because we have the Garden Dome. The Garden Dome is going to help regulate temperatures even year round, and we're going to keep everything in here from freezing. So that allows us at over 9,000 feet to grow things like citrus and cherry trees and nectarines and figs and 5 different citrus trees. So I ended up getting navel orange, and these are all dwarf, by the way. This was from Home Depot's dwarf patio collection, which is half off right now. So $25 for a dwarf navel, a dwarf mandarin, it already has a mandarin growing on it, a dwarf blood orange, a dwarf grapefruit, this one actually has the sign still on it, and a dwarf Meyer lemon. Some people might say it's overboard, but dwarf trees can stay in pots for years. And here's an example of a palm tree that we have. It's a 45-year-old tree, and it's still in a 15-gallon pot. So these kind of trees are not going to take up a ton of space in our dome, and hopefully some fruit. I mean, this tree can't be more than a year old and it already has a full-size fruit on it. Definitely going to be curious to see what happens. There's a couple of unique elements in our greenhouse design that's going to help these trees survive the winter. One is this gigantic air circulation duct here that goes 4 feet underground and circulates hot air in the summertime. We can release that air in the wintertime to help keep a more even climate control. The other thing is this big eco pond. Now the pond is another thermoregulator. The pond is a nice cool 70 degrees. Even though it's 100 degrees outside in the air, this pond is going to keep things a little cooler in the summer. It will also keep things warmer in the winter time. So it's a great addition. It also helps with feeding the plants as well with nutrient-rich food. You can see I've got aquaponics and fish in there. So nice nutrient-rich food for these trees that we're growing. Now, it's not just trees in here. Got a lot of vegetables. The whole idea of the dome was to provide a garden-like oasis for year-round enjoyment, because at 9,000 feet, let me tell you, it is a very short summer and a very long winter. So you need to have ways to enjoy that. You know how people get the seasonal affective disorder because they don't get the sunlight, they don't get the nature. Part of the concept of having all these kinds of trees and plants in a dome like this, even if we're not getting bushels of fruit or fruit to sell at the farmer's market, it's so that we can have that mental health boost year-round in a place that can get pretty bleak even beyond January and February. Going into March, April, and even May, we can get quite a bit of snow up here. Definitely part of the concept is that tropical lush oasis. And let me just show you the sago palm here that's adding to that aesthetic of a getaway on the mountaintop and making you try to feel like it's a little piece of summer amongst a very long winter. Now, the only experience that I have with dwarf citrus is one that is in my mom's house, and it's a Meyer lemon tree, and it produces Meyer lemons, and has for the last 10 years, in a pot that size and a tree about that size. But a big experiment for us is doing a cherry tree for the first time. This is a dwarf Stella cherry, which is a sweet cherry. And this was today's find at Home Depot, $16 nectarine tree. Will this become anything? Will we get any fruit off of it? I'm certainly curious if we'll get any fruit off of it next year. And one thing, don't discount this little tiny fig tree. Fig trees can be big producers even when they're little. Now, I don't think we're gonna get any fruit off of it this season, but next season, who knows? It could be twice the size. We could have our very first figs to try. I'm definitely curious to see which tree brings fruit first, and I can't wait to see what it looks like in here in the winter time, having a little bit of a tropical oasis. So if you want to see that too, definitely follow along. Put your bet in the comments. Which tree do you think is going to be the first to bear fruit? But I'd love to hear your stories if you've ever grown dwarf citrus trees or had any kind of indoor fruit trees, what kind of successes you had, what things I should look out for. These all say that they're self-pollinating, so hopefully we definitely get some fruit from it. I got my fingers crossed. I definitely would love to see some return on my investment. Even though I got a good deal, I'd love to see the fruit of the labor.